Hi, I'm Hazel. It's almost Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some of your questions. Just yesterday, we got the very exciting announcement that account-wide essences are happening. Not in a future patch, but in a hotfix coming this week with Reset. So the details were laid out in a blue post that went up yesterday afternoon. Here's the official wording if you have not seen it yet. And the gist of it is that once you have earned a rank 3 essence on one character, other characters can buy that essence from Mother. In order to do that though, the alt doesn't get it for free. That alt is going to need a new currency called the Echoes of Ny'alotha. That new currency will come from 8.3 activities like the Horrific Visions, the Assaults, the current Raid, Mythic Plus, and Rated PvP. So my thoughts on this are, first of all, yes. People are in various camps of this took too long, is it too late, etc. I am just excited to see it, and I think that while it would have been great to have this a long time ago, in my case, before I went and ground out all new essences for that Beardude I've been playing, would have been great to have it earlier, but at least we have it now, and there's no real reason to believe that Shadowlands is particularly close, so there's going to be plenty of time to enjoy this. A big deciding factor of how good this change is going to be is going to depend on how much of the currency do you need to buy a new essence, and then how much work are you going to need to do to get that currency? Because on one end of the spectrum, it could be basically like a token amount, a freebie for any alt that you're just playing actively through Assaults. And on the other hand, maybe it'll take just as long to get your essences, but at least you'll be able to do it through new content and not going back to Najatar and Mechagon and all that. So we'll see. These changes will go into effect with the Reset, the upcoming scheduled maintenance on Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on your region. This is great news for anybody that has been putting off getting an alt set up because of essences, or maybe this will convince some people to get some alts going to kill some time between now and Shadowlands. Also, in the hotfixes this week, another one that got kind of overshadowed by the account-wide essences. All gear from Horrific Visions will now be corrupted. So the gear pieces that you get directly from completing Horrific Visions, not Assaults, not anything else, but the Horrific Visions gear will be 100% chance to be corrupted, starting with the weekly reset. The idea with that is to increase the rate at which you're getting corrupted gear so that you have kind of a wider variety to choose from on any given character, and hopefully if you have been just stubbornly evaded by those corruptions that you really need, hopefully this gets you a chance to get the stuff that you're looking for. The way that Horrific Visions gear actually works and drops is a little bit confusing. It's not the most intuitive thing they've ever done. They put up a blue post that clarifies those details a little while back, and I will link to that in the description in case you're excited about getting guaranteed corrupted gear but you're confused about how. All in all, between these two hotfixes, I am really excited for the changes. I think they could have made a choice to kind of write the rest of BFA off for dead, sort of Warlord style, and then just turn all of their energy and attention and hope onto Shadowlands to fix everything. So the fact that they kind of believe in BFA enough to still be giving it the changes it needs, sure, it would have been nice to have these things earlier, but I also appreciate that it hasn't been abandoned, and that kind of gives me trust for the future that even if they don't get things right the first time, they're never too proud to go back and adjust things, even when, I feel like the internet's decision on BFA has been largely made. I doubt you're going to see too many think pieces on how it was secretly the best expansion ever, at least not until another 2 expansions when we hit the nostalgia point for it. But I'm just glad that it's still getting what it needs. In my personal life, we've been making plans to kind of stay home a little bit more in the upcoming weeks, as is true for many people right now. Although when you actually sit down and look at it on paper, for my life at least, I'm lucky that means pretty much nothing really changes. I've been trying to find a balance between checking the news enough to stay functionally informed, and then not so much that I just drive myself insane. I feel like once a day is probably a fairly reasonable amount, and I look forward to when I have the self-control to stick to that. Questions for this week. Belia asks, Hazel, my cloak is rank 9, trouble doing 2 areas in Visions, 442, Shadow Priest, do you have any tips? So, I am not an expert, but things that have helped me in my Shadow Priest solo clears: don't pull more than 1 pack at a time, particularly at the stage that you're at. There's really no need for that until much later when you're doing mask runs. You have plenty of time just doing 1 pack at a time, and you can start to really get into trouble if you have aggro on too many things. So just, pull what you need to, identify which mobs are going to cause problems for you, which ones have stuns, which ones have fears, and then have a plan for how you're going to manage that, kill those mobs first, and then kind of make use of your silence, your psychic horror. I recommend recommend speccing into that. And then also your Psychic Scream in an emergency can stop a really nasty cast. I use the Focused Azurite Beam Essence and make sure that I have that for any particularly sketchy pulls. And food flasks, consumables. I do use flasks and usually haste food, although you can also experiment with the Horrific Vision specific food if you've been having trouble. I actually found that I fairly liked the Dubious Delight. It's not one of the more popular ones, but it reduces the duration of CC that you take. And if that's something that's been causing you problems, like if you've been eating CC that gets changed into more CC that ruins your runs, then having that food might help. Razorclaw asks, what are you doing with your polished pet charms? Assuming that you have everything you need with them, are you just stocking up on the Battlestones? So currently, I'm just kind of stashing them as is in my bank. I have a few thousand of them right now. I'm not actively farming, but as you say, I have mostly run out of things to spend them on. Once I get exalted with the Rajani and can buy my Wind Feathered chick, I think my plan is to just, do the same thing we did at the end of Legion and translate your stockpile of charms into the stones that you think you're going to need. So mostly Ultimate Battle Training stones, a couple of the quality upgrade stones as well. It's highly likely that we see another charm conversion at the end of the expansion where our polished charms turn into shiny charms. We don't know that for sure, but I would be surprised if anything else happened. So it's a safe bet to stock up on those stones for the future. T-Jagger asks, do you think that it's worth trying to learn to tank at this stage of the expansion? With all the high geared content, who will want such a low geared and experienced tank? Should I wait until Shadowlands and level as a tank and learn that way? So whatever is more comfortable to you, but if it were me, I would do it now, and that's more or less what I've done. Your gear is going to be tailored to the content that you're ready for. Like, you're not going to start out with a lot of gear, but then you can take your fresh tank and you can tank some normals and heroics and LFR, and then the gear that you get from those things is going to get you into higher geared content. It's true that groups might prefer a more experienced tank, but my experience has been that tanks don't grow on trees, and most groups for something like an LFR or a normal pug are just kind of happy to have somebody that is like awake and alive and like willing to type and communicate and in the correct specs. So just by showing up, you can be well ahead of the curve for the content that you want to start with. I think that starting early is especially good because it'll give you a chance to kind of get used to the feel of tanking and kind of shake off any general tanking jitters so that when you get to the new content, you can focus on just learning the fights and the routes, and you'll already kind of have your hands around the class. And that has been my week. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys have any questions you would like me to answer on a vlog, please leave them in the comments of the most recent vlog. Check in on a live stream to say hi sometime if you like, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm gonna put that at the end of the video just in case anybody really needs it.